Yo, what's going on YouTube? I'm here today to do a review of Blade and Soul episode 4. Now this episode cuts back where Alka had fell off of basically this giant cliff into a running stream. Well, apparently she was rescued from this running stream by two little kids. Now apparently there was a little boy and a little girl. The little girl would always bring back strays, but this time she brought back Alka. So you see the little kids, the boy and the girl, stealing from a food stall, and apparently they had done it countless numbers of times. It added up to 16 before the episode was over. So they've stolen 16 different times from that one merchant, and he still hasn't caught them. But basically, the brother of him which was the one that was taking care of the little girl for the most part, was pretty much like he wanted a faster way to make money. And after they rescued Alka, they had her swords. So he started using the sword to. Alright, at first he was attacked. Like he seen a girl getting attacked, right? And he wanted to basically save her, but he had a sword, but he didn't really want to kill the dude. But then the dude killed the chick that he was messing with, and then turned around and looked at the little boy and was like, "Now give me all your valuables." So Alright, so the little boy whipped out the sword, and you could tell he was extremely scared and he was doing it out of panic. But he ran with a straight lunge and stabbed the dude and basically took all of his shit and sold it for 1 silver piece at the market. All of the mugger's loot. And in most MMOs, I'm not sure if this is the same, but in most MMOs, 100 bronze pieces is equivalent to 1 silver piece. 100 silver pieces is equivalent to 1 gold piece. So he got 1 silver piece, which is obviously 100 bronze pieces. Now with that, he got to come back with a decent haul of food to bring back to Alka and the little girl. Because as soon as Alka got there, the little girl stopped going on the little raids into town with him. So the boy couldn't bring back as much without the girl. This time he brought back a lot, and he realized that he could use the sword to bring back all kinds of loot. So he started using the sword to basically cut off travelers and steal all of their loot. Now, one time while he was in town, some of the surviving members of the pleasure gang from last episode saw Alka's sword on his back, and it shows this basically in the bar, the Tamarind Inn, I think it's called, something with a T, but it's an inn where people go to drink and stay, and basically they're telling the pleasure gang. The pleasure gang meets up and they see that the leader of the pleasure gang is alive, and then two more are alive. One of the Tamarind Inn's subordinates, the chick leaves Tamarind Inn. One of her subordinates rescued the pleasure gang, or the remnants of the pleasure gang anyway. And basically Hazuki, the duelder, tried to attack the pleasure gang because they basically helped Alka get away in their previous engagement when she actually landed a hit on Alka in the back of the leg. And Hazuki was pretty pissed about that because that's a 7,000 Genie berry, I believe. Genie bounty. Now I'm not sure how Genie would calculate into the gold to silver to bronze currency. Maybe it's a different type of currency, like one Genie would it be equal to 1 gold piece or something along those lines, or that's why 7,000 gold pieces would be a lot of money. Or even if it was silver, 7,000 silver pieces would still be a lot of money. And basically, they go to fight, and then the chick from the Tamarind Inn pops up and like, I will have to request that you do nothing of the sort in my bar of the fighting sort. And then the chick from the pleasure gang basically says that she's heard some rumors about the chick who's in the chick who runs the Tamarind Inn. So she's like, so you've heard the rumors? And he's like, are there rumors? She's like, who knows? We'll find out. So apparently this chick that heads the Tamarind Inn is pretty badass. And the whole time we're watching this episode, we get to see Alka's recovery, and basically Alka's blind for the most part. Not completely blind, but partially blind, enough to where her vision is obstructed so that she can't fight regularly. Now her scar, I mean not her scar, but her tattoo is freaking, apparently it's really hot and red, so that might be what's causing the temporary blindness or the temporary loss of vision. Because towards the end of the episode, you actually got to see Alka fight because the brother tried to rob, uh, base, basically rob these two. I forget what it's called. That little thing they haul everything in. That has two horses generally running it. But he tried to rob some what seemed like some wealthy nobles, and he managed to cut down one of the guys. And then the lady at Tamarin Inn was told that the cart had gotten robbed by a child, and it was out by the back gate. So immediately, Hazuki thought he had a child with a sword that they saw earlier. So Hazuki ran off, and then the chick from basically everybody just decided to go back there and check out the kid. Um, the wealthy noble basically came to the kid's hideout, and basically the kid tried to fight off so Alka and the little girl could run. And when they opened the door, the kid basically threw a sack at him and then tackled him. Then was shot like right after. So Alka basically picks up her sword and just fucks everybody up there. And then they proceed to bury the boy. And the little girl's asking Alka to come with her because Alka decides she's going to go off somewhere else because her vision may have returned. We got to see her fight, and she fought with pretty good accuracy. So, and her scar was pretty much healed. Not her scar, but her tattoo area was pretty much healed. And the whole time this episode's going on, there's an actual quote that her master gave her that said, "Do not live by the sword. If you live by the sword, if you live by the sword for yourself, then you'll kill the sword. When the sword dies, you'll die alongside of it. And basically, you need to figure out what it means, the whole reason that you are an assassin and why you live by the sword, but not for yourself. Why do you kill people? You need to figure that out." And proceeds to say, "Is it us breathing that proves that we're alive humans, or is it we're humans that breathe proof that we're alive?" It's something along those lines. You can go back and watch it if you want. It's on the last. So it was literally like the last line. But overall, you got Alka leaving the whole little camp now. She's pretty much recovered, or I believe she's recovered. At least her eyesight is anyway. If not her eyesight, she may have lost the vision to an extent, and that's all she has, damage-wise, done to her. But other than that, it looks like she's fully recovered. The kids did a good job taking care of her. And basically, she ditched the little girl, but the girl wasn't really mad about it, so she just ran off to do whatever she was gonna do. And now you got Alka setting back on her journey again. And we got to hear a little bit at the beginning of this episode about the Clan of the Sword. The Clan of the Sword basically hides and has basically buried themselves into the history, the shadows of the history of this whole, not kingdom, but this whole world that you're living in the MMO. So, and as we saw the last couple episodes, every time something big happens, a member of the Clan of the Sword is present, like a huge turning point within the world. A member of the Clan of the Sword is present, and then we got to see a Clan of the Sword member actually assassinate someone with an tactic like dropping some leaves in front of them so they get distracted by the leaves, and come down and basically put a knife behind her throat and slit it. So the Clan of the Sword is just as badass as we all thought it was, or at least I thought it was. But we got to see plot progression. We got to see Alka back on her feet. We got to see character progression with the leader of Tamarin. We got to see she's actually more of a badass than she really lets on to be. But I mean, everybody could have saw that coming. I thought I did. I mean, I did. I figured you would too. But we just didn't really have much of anything this episode. It was a slow episode, but you can't really give it a terribly bad grade because it's a slow episode. So overall, I'm gonna just give this episode a 6 out of 10. And that's my opinion on my guys. Peace.